When the tow truck dropped the Lamborghini off at my garage, I still couldn't believe what I had gotten myself into. On one hand, it was a dream come true owning a supercar. On the other, I had no idea if it was even possible to restore it. First inspection, the surprises begin. As soon as I pulled the cover off the car, it was clear that it hadn't been cared for in a long time. The interior was in relatively decent shape, but under the hood, it was chaos. 下部ウェブ、broken hoses, oil leaks. The battery was completely dead and the tires had seen better days. I called my friend Mike, a mechanic who specializes in sports cars. He arrived with his tools, hooked up a diagnostic scanner, and after a few minutes, he looked at me and said, "Dude, you've either hit the jackpot or you've just signed up for a serious challenge." The engine, despite its condition, was still in working order but needed a complete overhaul. The fuel system was clogged, the transmission might have issues, and the electrical wiring was clearly a mess. First attempt to start, the Lamborghini's heart beats again. I knew the repairs wouldn't be cheap, but I was already too deep into the project to turn back. First, I bought a new battery and replaced the oil. Mike and I cleaned out the fuel system and changed the spark plugs. "Should we try starting it?" he asked with a smirk. I inserted the key, turned the ignition, and silence. I tried again. The starter finally engaged, and the engine attempted to come to life. The car coughed, as if waking up from a deep sleep, and then the roar of the V10 engine filled the garage. I stood there stunned. That sound, the signature growl of an Italian supercar, sent chills down my spine. Bringing the beast back to life. Despite the excitement, I knew this was just the beginning. The engine was running, but it wasn't smooth. There was still a lot of work to be done before I could even think about driving it. Over the next few weeks, I spent every free moment working on the car. The first priority was changing all the fluids, replacing the belts, and checking for leaks. Some hoses were completely dry-rotted, and the fuel injectors needed cleaning. The brakes were another issue. Years of sitting had left them rusted and nearly useless. I managed to source parts from different online forums and junkyards. Finding Lamborghini parts isn't easy, but luckily, the Gallardo shares some components with Audi, which made things slightly more affordable. The biggest problem, however, was the transmission. It was an automated manual and it wasn't shifting properly.